One of the most feared and most cards in the tarot. I'm going to make it not be terrifying and actually see it as a good thing. Which one is it? It's not death. It's not the Tower. Not the Ten of Swords. Not the Three of Swords. Just promise me you're not going to flip out when you see it.
Said, oh Lord Jesus.
So, what on earth is the devil? Actually, a representation of the Greek god Pan, who was very worldly and inspired by his urges of lust, enjoying the pleasures of the flesh, and just indulging in the worldly feelings of being intoxicated, sticking it, being crazily whimsical, and enjoying the 3D experience. That's also the devil. You can see the Baphomet figure. The Baphomet figure is misunderstood, but a lot of people are saying, but that's Satan. No, it's not. It's a symbol of specific things being merged into one, and it represents something. That's not what Satan looks like. And Saint Lucifer, he does not look like that. You really think an entity like Lucifer, who is known as the shining star, the one who brings the light, the one that can help you see, and the one you want to look at because it's bright and it's happy, you think that looks like him? Does that look like something bright and you want to look at all the time? No, it's not. You can't say that's him. How do you know Lucifer, or Satan for that matter, how do you know he has malefic intentions towards you? You, not anybody else. You. There's a difference. There's a malefic intention across large scale, then there's one that is actually involving you and another party. Unless if you have actually interacted with Lucifer or Satan, you have no room to say how he is, who he is. Either or, it don't matter. In fact, if anybody does use that kind of a way of reading this card, you're limiting yourself, and that's not the way you're supposed to think with this card. No. So, right off the bat, no. You cannot be thinking that, there's some black magic stuff or some left-handed stuff that's purposely coming after you because it wants to cause havoc in your life and it wants to tempt you. No. Stop it. Sitting in the middle between an Adam and Eve figure. And the Adam and Eve figure have chains around their neck. And in this depiction as well, the man figure is getting a torch on his tush, while the woman sucks to be him. Now, this is where a lot of people are not going to like me. I'm here to say it for what it is. You see that fire going on that, the male figure's tush? That is the fire of desire, the fire of lust. Lustful actions be taken. The fire to stick it that afflicted a man. That is why most of all the restriction, the unrealistic and uncalled for detainment of women and the treatment of women in most religions, there's a good symbol of it because of lust and pushing of a man's lack of self-control. Saying for what it is. Because of that lack of self-control, he takes action and violates a woman. What is some of the common belief systems in some Abrahamic faiths? Well, it's the woman's fault for tempting the guy. How? She was just reading a book and she was pretty engulfed in the story. And then out of nowhere, a guy just comes up and grabs her. And somehow it's her fault for reading a book now that she's getting groped? Now, if somebody thinks like that, who's the one that had the urge to stick it? And who's the one who acted on it? It wasn't the woman. She was minding her business. What did the guy do? I want to stick it. That looks hot. Oh. No. And if there's any justification in that, you can use is a religious book that's been altered. It's your only thing to stand on. Not good enough. In fact, that kind of just shows that, wow. No wonder you're still single. Having a man's lust be inflamed to the point where it possesses him and blinds him to have the indulgence of pleasure, This is how you have to really look at a card. You can't just be all like, oh, the devil's coming for me. You really have to look and analyze the card. Having the devil figure focusing more on the man, there could be a belief that, most of the damage and the harm that's been caused in the world was done by men. I'm not saying it to be sexist. That's not the point. I'm saying it because that's what's happened. I don't like how it is either, but it is what it is. How are we going to deal with it? Because of men, a lot of unnecessary restriction, detainment, and a lot of fear-based dogma being afflicted to humanity as a whole. There has to be this idea of looking at it for how it is, neutral, looking at the symbols in it and interpreting it. What on earth can this thing represent in the reading? One of the ways I like to see the devil, actually a actor that was on Saturday Night Live. Of all the things I can relate this card to, it has to be an actor off of that. Chris Farley. He had a way of living that was like, live life, I'll live it hard. There's your devil. At first, you can see the devil as an indication to a time to celebrate. Indulge in the physical things around you. Embrace it, have fun, but you have to understand your limitations and you have to know when enough's enough. Being under the influence to an extent where you take someone's life, that's another part of the devil. You're allowing an intoxicant or something to possess you and blind you that it causes damage. The devil is also just having a glass of wine at a bar, being in order, and being classy, and enjoying it, taking in the scenery. You're enjoying the feelings on the 3D level. It's not bad. There is nothing wrong with enjoying the physical world. It's also said over in India about Shukracharya, which is a guru, mind you. By the way, that's Venus. Shukracharya teaches, let them enjoy. Let the Asuras, which are people, let them enjoy. So what if it's materialistic and if it's not of the higher plane? They're happy, they're enjoying it, they're making the most, they're enjoying what's around them. How's that bad? Because there's a saying that God is in everything. And also India says too, everything is of Vishnu. All is Vishnu. So if all is Vishnu, shouldn't we enjoy it? If that's Vishnu, if I'm Vishnu, we should enjoy Vishnu. We should enjoy ourselves and everything around us to its highest potential. Because the devil is also an indication that you need to have some self-control. You need to slow down. You need to, put the bottle down, take a step back, and understand that's plenty. Addiction is a challenge people face. I'm not going to be on this debate of if it's a disease or not. So what? Some people face it easier than others. It doesn't matter. It's still a challenge people have to face. Be it alcohol, tobacco, an indulgence of any kind. It does not matter. An addiction is an addiction. Whatever it is what it is. Being able to understand your limits is also the devil. Because the devil is also a figure that is detaining. He restricts. He keeps you tied up. He's not saying that he wants to keep you tied up and doing nasty stuff. Now, maybe being the devil's advocate does that usually mean, being the one who comes in and messes up the party? You see how things are tied together like that, and now it's making him look worse? Yes, if the devil is restricting you from not wanting you to overindulge, how is it bad? Don't you think maybe he's trying to tell you, I think you've had plenty. I think we've had plenty of fun today. Why don't you go home and rest up and relax, and we can have some more fun tomorrow? Don't you think that would be a good thing? Having somebody come in, and even though they're ruining your party, they're kind of concerned about you and they want you to stop? Don't you think that's a good thing? That's being considerate. That's none of my business. In a romance way, this can actually show somebody who is very adventurous in the way that they like to sexually express themselves. Nothing wrong with it. It's art. Art's art. Art is an artistic expression to the outside world. So what? Art's art. I think it deserves some credit. Even if it's dark, people have swung at the satanic Luciferian left-handed side. I can tell you this much. The left-handed path is probably the most creative out of the two. They understand how to appreciate something for what it is, but accepts all who come towards it. In a romantic way, it can be a type of bond that is karmic, meaning that it's something that is very deep attached to you. Is it toxic? On the negative side, the devil, on the positive side, for relationships, show partnership bettering thyself. How? Man figure, woman figure. You have a trinity. Man, woman, divinity. When you have two figures coming together as one, be it man, woman, 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 doesn't matter. You find God. You find divinity. When two come together, divinity forms. Primarily Satanism, focus is within empowering thyself. Oh, this card can represent a relationship that brings the best in you at the highest point. Like evolving communications and actually interacting with other people, you actually might need to learn how to better control your mouth. Speaking when enough is talking too much. There's also, it might be suggesting you may have to be speaking in a way that's more appealing, more alluring, more seductive, more captivating in your approach. You communicate needs to be more pleasurable. As an obstacle or motivating force. Obstacle, you have no self-control. You need to learn self-control. You need to know when enough's enough and stop it, no matter what it is. Positive side, you have found a passion or something that brings you a lot of life, drives you, and you love doing it. Just make sure you understand enough's enough and not neglect the other sectors of your life. That's it for passion and obstacle. That's it. If something drives you and motivates you, let it keep giving you a good motivator. Let it keep motivating you. See how simple it is? You just see how I just took this very terrifying card and made it so positive, just like that. It's not that scary now. In fact, you kind of want to get this card now, don't you?